SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in Sports Talk Mississippi on this Tuesday. Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad with you. Apparently there's some big speech or something happening tonight in the political world. We'll let Richard Cross handle that on Mornings with Richard Cross, or Gerard on Middays with Gerard. That's not what we're going to do.
Literally anybody else.
That's not what we're going to do. We're going to talk about baseball because we visited with the coaches yesterday, but we didn't get a chance to just talk about what we saw. So we'll do that coming up here in a little bit. Sweeps over the weekend, and what did we see? What did we learn? Price of poker going up this weekend, so we will talk about that. We got a college football fix. Who spent the most on their roster in the country? The answer won't surprise you, but got some details from Pete Nakos earlier today that'll shed some light on what your team is doing. If you're a baseball fan, specifically an Atlanta Braves fan, and you live in Mississippi, the Braves are coming over the air to you soon. We'll give you the details and a whole lot more. So glad that you guys are with us on this Tuesday.
We are glad you're here with us in the Pearl River Resort studios, pearlriverresort.com. Book your next great weekend. What is it you want to do this weekend? You want to play some golf? You want to place a wager? You want to eat a great meal or see a fun show? You can do all of those things at Pearl River Resort. Book your stay now at pearlriverresort.com. C-Spire text line open to you at 601-879-4395. Every sports fan can tell you fast speed wins games. That's why C-Spire brings you fiber home internet, nationwide 5G wireless, and IT solutions that move as fast as your business. Learn more at cspire.com. C-Spire, inspired by you.
That is right. Inspired by you. Virginia's quarterback, who has played 6 seasons for 4 different schools, is suing for a 7th year of eligibility. We'll see what happens there. I mean, shoot your shot, right? He's not an NFL quarterback. He's not good enough to play there.
Throw a dart at the board and see if it hits.
And if it hits, great.
Yeah.
And if it does not, it does not. Yeah, who cares?
It'll be fine.
It's also Combine Week, by the way.
It is.
Do you watch the Combine?
Not much of it. No, the only thing I'm interested in is I think what a lot of us here in the state of Mississippi are, and that's I want to see what Brennan Thompson runs on the 40-yard dash. But beyond that, as a Saints fan, I feel like we all have a pretty good idea of who the Saints are going to take with that number 8 pick. It's probably going to be the running back Love from Notre Dame. So, I mean, I guess I'll keep an eye on him, make sure he runs good, make sure he does well.
Yeah, Peter Schrager's mock had a receiver going to the Saints with Love going at 9, and I thought, Peter, brother, no way.
Come on, man.
There's no way.
Chance. No chance whatsoever of that happening.
Alvin Kamara's going to walk away from the game within 2 years.
Yeah.
Within 2 years. Possibly after this season. He apparently is not long for football, that he wants to travel and invest in business, and he's just kind of, he's a big NASCAR fan. He wants to invest in NASCAR, that kind of stuff.
All right.
You got to prepare for life after him, and when you've got that guy, you don't pass on him for a wide receiver.
Yeah, this is what has to happen. So I think that's where it's going to be. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. But we don't have a lot of Mississippi guys at this event. We've got a few from Ole Miss. Thompson, I believe, is the only one there from State. So just not a lot of local interest there. And like I said, with the Saints, this time a year ago with the Saints, we were like, will they go this? Could they trade up for the quarterback, or what do they want to do? This year, it feels like every mock draft I see is like, they're taking the running back. They're taking Love. Don't worry about it. So I won't.
I won't either. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't watch. I track the results.
Yeah.
I can't watch it. It bores me. Okay, here's a guy running the 40. Here's another guy running the 40. Here's another guy running the 40. Here's another guy. I mean,
it's cool to see these guys, but at the same time, I'm not going to be surprised that Brennan Thompson's fast. You're not going to surprise me. Oh, he ran a 4.31. Okay, not shocked.
But we will keep track of what they do. 6 guys from Mississippi in the combine. When results happen, we will talk about them and the good or the bad or the in-between. A lot of money can be made by all of them this week and this weekend. Also, the interviews, which, of course, we don't get to hear.
Right, but the stuff will leak out.
Oh, yeah.
Around that. So.
But that is something that they can make a lot of money in the interview room. And
they can lose a lot of money in that room as well.
So that's coming up later. Let's talk baseball right now, though, and let's start in Starkville.
Let's start with, real quick, let's get the lineups here. They're both out for State and Ole Miss. I'll do State. I know you don't have Ole Miss lined up there. But State taking on Austin Peay. That game, first pitch for both these games in about 50 minutes. State's going to lead off with Drew Wires at second base. Ace Reese will bat second and play third. Noah Sullivan's the DH. Vitas Valencius in left field batting cleanup. Blake Beavis is batting fifth and playing first base. Sean James behind the plate. He's batting sixth. Ryder Woodson batting seventh and playing shortstop. Aiden Teal in center field. He'll bat eighth. Bryce Chance, your number 9 hitter, playing right field. And on the mound for his Bulldog first start is the Virginia transfer William Kirk. And
for Ole Miss, I don't know if we should read into this part or not, but we'll get there. Decker leading off, Utermark batting second, Furness third, Becerra fourth, Rudner fifth. He's going to catch tonight, so Foley's getting the night off. Golden in right. Now, it could be giving Pachella just an off night. He's struggled so far, though. They expected a lot more out of him when they signed him than what he's given so far. Now, it's 2 weeks into the season. Guys are allowed to struggle in baseball for a couple of weeks before they get going, but he has not gotten going at all. And I don't know if this means that they're giving other guys looks to possibly take his job, but they expected more out of him when they signed him. Doesn't mean that he can't give it, but he hasn't given it. I don't know if this means that or not. It's just something to monitor, I suppose. Jones going to DH Randall at short. Federico, who also needs to get going. He's struggled a little bit early this season as well. In center, batting ninth, and then Hayes on the mound. Ole Miss facing SEMO and Oxford here in 47 minutes.
And just because, we're going to get that text from the guy. Oh, Southern Miss. They play at 6, guys. They haven't. Their lineup's not out yet.
Lineup's not out yet.
Would have absolutely read it.
Apparently, one of the burners told me that my face is different when we're interviewing Christian Ostrander. That I'm making a mean face when we talk to him, as opposed to the other coaches.
No, I would expect nothing less from you, King Dingaling.
I know, right? A guy that I deeply respect a lot. Apparently, I give an ugly face when we're talking to him, even though his program is awesome and he in particular is awesome. But anyway, you know how it goes. All right, let's start with the weekend. Game 1. So is it fair to say that week 2 was a lot more of what you were expecting to see from this team? You're allowed to have weekends that are not perfect and all that.
A little bit more, though. I mean, in 5 games this past week, State scored 52 runs. They were in double digits in 3 games. They had 2 run rule victories. And the run rule victories they didn't have, they scored 13, 9, and 7. The 7 runs came on a day where the temperature dropped almost 30 degrees, and you had a really stiff wind blowing into Dudy Noble Field. So to still get 7 runs, I thought was pretty good. Yeah, the bats were better this week. We talked to Brian O'Connor about that yesterday.
16 hits in game 1.
Yeah.
13 hits in game 2. Mm-hmm. And they had an awful day. 7 runs on 8 hits in game 3.
As I said, the weather was weird.
Awful.
Not awful, but it was just weird. Like I said, it was 72 on Saturday, and it was 48 on Sunday.
That's awful.
That's not great. So, pitching wise, they gave up 2 earned runs the whole weekend. That's getting it done. I understand that I don't think Delaware is a powerhouse program by any stretch of the imagination, but what do we always say? You play a bad team, you should beat them badly. Well, State didn't allow a whole lot of traction on the base paths, and they were able to put a good bit of runs on the board. Massive step up this week, obviously, for the Bulldogs, starting tonight with Austin Peay, who was the preseason favorite in the A-Sun Conference, and a team that, the last time they were in Starkville, they took not one but 2 games off the Diamond Dogs. So, I don't know how many guys are still left from that team. Probably not very many. You say that like it was a decade ago. It was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
But
somebody has let Brian O'Connor know that happened, and that team is well aware, I assume, that happened.
I mentioned it in the interview that we did yesterday. So, yeah, this weekend, and I think the whole week needs to be taken into account, right? Troy is a pretty good baseball team. They are. I've always got it on the brain. They have been an NCAA tournament team in years past. Skylar Mead's a good coach. They're probably the 3rd best team in the Sun Belt behind Coastal and Southern Mississippi, in whatever order you want to put them in. State handled them pretty easily and put 13 runs on the board. And then Alcorn, God bless them, but State, they had no chance. But State was I've seen Mississippi State play teams like that and win, 3-2 and win 5-1 sometimes. They won 19-0. All right, you can't ask for much more than that. And then the 3 games with Delaware, they were behind once in the game in the series. And that was on Sunday, and in the second inning. And then they got control of the game after that and never gave it back. So, yeah, as this weekend goes, it's about as good as it could have been for Mississippi State. We'll talk about Ole Miss and their weekend when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Communication system is a go.
This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Exactly.
A few of your messages on the text line before we flip over to what we learned from, and I got a question for Hadad too, but what we learned from Ole Miss over the weekend. One, this lineup for State is their lefty masher lineup. Arizona State's throwing a lefty Friday who is up to 97, and Austin Peay is also throwing a lefty today.
I can get that. Yeah, we talked about it on today's Thunder and Lightning podcast. Like, is this kind of the last dress rehearsal? Do you got to start figuring out your lineup? You're playing 3 power conference opponents this weekend. Arizona State's undefeated. Virginia Tech has 1 loss. UCLA's number 1 team in the nation. Do you need to just have your lineup at this point? I don't know.
Southern Miss on Tuesday.
And then you got Southern Miss on Tuesday. And this Austin Peay team is good too. But at what point does it say we got to stop tinkering and this is our 9? I don't know if that time is coming yet for Mississippi State.
Yeah. Hogman wants us to wager on baseball. Here, Hogman, the only wager that I've got for you is that your Razorbacks are going to make the College World Series again. They're going to be a great team. Oh, man, and they're going to be a wagon and a machine. And then there's going to be 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, runners on 2nd and 3rd, and Arkansas is up by 1, and there's going to be a routine ground ball hit to the second baseman, and he's going to throw it to Iowa. And then the Razorbacks are going to lose again in the most heartbreaking fashion because that is what your program does, Hogman.
Aw. Yeah, I mean, State plays Arkansas in a few weeks. I need to know more about State,
Yeah, I mean, no, honestly, Hogman, your Razorbacks are really good. So
if State's undefeated at the end of this week, I would feel pretty good about them being able to go to Arkansas and get that series. But I got to see, Yeah.
Hey, Dad, can you tell us what the deal is with Maluski?
He had 2 bad games at the plate and has not been seen since. And on the other side, Sean James has been really good at the plate. Andrew Raymond was really good at the plate in his 3 appearances, and defensively they've been fine. And so I don't think he's injured. I think he just lost his job.
It does happen.
When you have this much depth, the depth that State has on this roster, it's going to be cutthroat, man. And if you go 2 games and somebody else steps up and they do the job, it's going to be tough to get back into the mix.
There's only so many positions to go around, right? I mean, that was the conversation going in, is that there's some of these guys are going to have to, like, some of these position battles are going to have to get figured out during the course of the season. So there you go. And then, so is there anything about this team, and we'll do the same thing for Ole Miss, that you think you know, like, hey, I know this about this team, and then is there something that you're still waiting to find out?
I'm still waiting to find out where, we haven't seen a lot of power from this team yet. They only have 8 home runs on the season. So I'm still waiting to see, the ball start leaving the yard. But the thing I feel like I know is the pitching is legit. Like I said, they only gave up 2 earned runs last week in the weekend series. They just have a lot of quality arms. A lot now. Some of them are young. They've got some freshmen out there that look like but they look the part already. So McPherson, Valinkis, and Stone. I think it's going to be Stone taking that third weekend spot. Charlie Foster. Just going back to what we were saying about Maluski, right? Foster didn't have a great start against Hofstra. Didn't have a great start against Delaware. This weekend, you can't put him out there against UCLA the way he's pitched the first 2 games. So I think that'll end up being Duke Stone. I wouldn't be totally surprised if they shuffle some things around and let Valinkis pitch against UCLA, but we'll see.
For Ole Miss, they obviously also swept over the weekend. The thing that stands out the most is starting pitching. I mean, Elliott was not good on Friday. And hey, am I naive if I'm totally unbothered by Hunter Elliott having a not the best start of the season in February?
I thought that you're not wrong to be. It happens, right? But I was wondering, a guy who's had the arm troubles that he had, throwing 97 pitches, is that right? In week 2, I don't like that.
Yeah, 6 walks and I have the box score right here. I can tell you, 6 walks and 3 hit batters on Friday for Hunter Elliott. If that was Libbert, I don't know if this is entirely fair or not, but if that was Libbert, I would have red flag up. Like, this transfer pitcher that's you expected to come in and be a weekend guy, and he can't get anybody out, and he's putting too many guys on. This is not good. Mm-hmm. But when you got the sample size that you got with Elliott, it's not ideal. You would prefer him to be awesome every time he pitches always, but I am not going to be bothered by struggles in February with his resume and his track record until given a real reason to. But an off outing on a Friday in February, if he does it again this weekend and then again next weekend,
he pitched well last weekend too. If he had back-to-back bad weekends, I would be concerned. Yeah. Everybody, Cy Young will have a bad one every now and then. Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I think I know about this team is starting pitching. Townsend was awesome. They're not extending him yet, and I don't know if that's how they're always going to treat him or not. Maybe there's a drop-off that they anticipate, so they keep his outings relatively short. But struck out 8 and just 4 complete, scattered a couple of hits, and then Libbert, the aforementioned Libbert on Sunday, in a close game, 5 complete, struck out 7, only gave up a couple of runs there as well. This is a pitching staff that I believe in. Now, price of poker is going up this weekend. Competition's going to get much better in SEC play, but I think that I know that this team is going to pitch the heck out of it. There are other question marks, namely defense. You had another error at shortstop over the weekend.
Still too early to talk about that.
So that I'm still concerned with. But I think they're going to pitch the heck out of it. And that's going to be a strength of this team. And out of the pen as well, they have a lot of options. It's not like they have 1 or 2 guys, and then after that you have no idea. I mean, they've got 5 or 6 that I think that they're really comfortable with coming out of the pen at any given time. Rabe, his stat line doesn't look as good as he actually was on Saturday, but Calhoun's been really awesome as well. Koenig's been, there's just a lot of options there at the mound. So I think that I know that this team's going to pitch the heck out of it. There's a lot to like with the lineup, too, at the moment. Rudner's off to a hot start. Utermark, I think, tied for home runs in the country and leads the SEC in home runs. Furness has not put one over the wall yet, but he's hitting .348, and he has 11 walks. So even though he hasn't hit the long ball, and you expect that out of him, he's getting on base. Concerned with Pacella. Hadad, he's 3 of his first 18 this season and has struck out 10 times.
It's not great.
That is a guy that you expected more out of. Again, he can get going, but not the start that you wanted. And same thing with Federico. He's only hitting .217. He has walked 8 times, so his on-base percentage is actually – he's hitting .217, but he gets on base at .455, which is – those are a little imbalanced, but – bottom of the order's got to get going for this team if they're going to reach their goals. But I mean, they're undefeated. They pitch the heck out of it. Guys at the top of the lineup are really hitting the baseball. Udomark's been exactly what you expected him to be. Just got to get more at the bottom of your order if you're going to navigate this gauntlet of a schedule. And then you need to play cleaner infield defense as well. That has got to improve. So a lot to like. Love the pitching.
That defensive key is going to be the one to keep an eye on, especially in these next couple of weeks, right? Like,
yes.
By the time conference play starts, you've got to be better. And, you've got some tough games this weekend. Obviously, the one with Coastal. It's so interesting. State and UCLA, Ole Miss and Coastal this weekend. Two huge games. And then Southern Miss has I think their biggest game of the week is tonight with Alabama. But yeah, if Ole Miss, you can't continue to give away runs. You cannot do that, especially as the competition continues to get better. You look at that first week at Texas. If you have 5 errors on the board against Texas, you're gonna get run ruled
over.
It's not going to be a pretty sight for you.
And you mentioned 5 errors. The left side of your infield alone has 5 already this season.
Right.
That's 2 weeks.
You have a multiple error game against Texas, and you're going to risk getting run ruled.
Mm-hmm. And they did not have that this past weekend. Mm-hmm. But
that's good.
Still, one came from short, and that's his 4th.
Yeah,
this season. So, yeah, Townsend's ramping up from a groin injury. Looks so efficient. I asked Bianco about that yesterday. That's the thing with the starters, the other two. Again, Elliott had a really bad day with command, but the efficiency in which the other two are pitching, they're filling up the zone. Their command has been excellent so far. And lefties in particular, hey, when you get to watch Ole Miss and they've got a lefty on the mound, the pickoff move that Joel Mangrum has taught lefties in particular is diabolical. I mean, it's very close to being a balk, but it's not because they don't get called for it.
Yeah, I'd say the close to being a balk is not a balk.
It's nuts how many times they get guys, especially the lefties of all things. That might be the best thing that the team does is the pickoff moves from the left-handed pitchers. It really might be their biggest strength as a team. It's unbelievable. So a lot to like, some questions, but that's early baseball. And, yeah, good stuff. I mean, State undefeated, Ole Miss undefeated, Southern Miss.
Southern Miss is maybe the most impressive team in the country through the first 2 weeks in terms of what they've been able to do for their resume. UCLA is probably the answer because they just did sweep a top 10 team, but goodness gracious, Southern Miss is playing really good baseball. If they get a win tonight, they are rolling towards hosting another regional.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the Seabrook
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Do you ever get so excited that you just can't wait?
Sports Talk Mississippi, covering your Mississippi team.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Don't touch that dial! Here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi back with you here on a Tuesday. Brian Hadad and Michael Borkey. Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you in part by AgriGold. AgriGold believes progress in the field starts with seed and the people who plant it. That's why AgriGold focuses 100% on seed, delivering trusted genetics and solutions to help you get more out of every acre. Contact Kerry Baker at 662-836-7417. He is your local AgriGold representative. To learn more, or you can visit agrigold.com to explore seed solutions and agronomy resources. Plant your legacy today with AgriGold.
Mark Pope, the head coach at Kentucky, that's having an interesting year. They're going to make the tournament, but people aren't just thrilled with his current product on the floor, considering what they invested in it. However, he got fined by the SEC $25,000 for his conduct and comments on the officiating after they lost to Auburn. Here's the money quote that got him fined. This was after his press conference. He didn't say this in his press conference, but the problem with Mr. Pope is that microphones are pretty strong. And his voice, he's a tall guy. What is he, 6'9"? He's a tall guy.
He's a big guy.
His voice carries. And he immediately after his press conference, as he was walking away, found his athletic director, Mitch Barnhart, right? That's his last name, Mitch Barnhart?
Yes, correct.
And said, quote, Mitch, if those expletive that begins with an M and also has an F, E-R-S, try to find me.
Marlaton fryers?
Sure, that works. Yeah, that works. Try to find me, they can't. I didn't say a word about how they cheated us. That went out over the microphone, and everybody heard it.
This really shouldn't count against him.
I agree, though.
He said this away from the mic. It just happened to pick it up. I don't think this should have been a problem.
So if you're the SEC, though, you can't. Look, I think that the SEC has a transparency issue. I think that sports in general has a transparency issue when it comes to officiating. There are human beings, after all. Mm-hmm. It's so freeing if there's a blown call. Man, looking back, I got the video in front of me. We blew it, and we'll try to be better. As opposed to shipping them out of the stadium and having the 19-year-olds face the cameras and the media and talk about their mistakes, and the adults get to leave. But if you're the SEC, you can't have a coach saying on video, they cheated us. So what do you do in a situation like this where he thought he was saying it in private but did not say it in private? What do you do?
I think they just have to have some, I don't know if common sense is the right word, but you guys got to have look, you maybe just have a statement. We understand that he made these comments. He did make them in private, but they were heard publicly. We will not be fining him, but we do, maybe this is a cautionary tale, however you want to put it.
Yeah, here's a public reprimand.
A reprimand. That's the word I'm looking for. That's a good call.
That is really funny that the coach went full on message board. They cheated us.
Well, when you get cheated, you get cheated.
So did you watch that game? I did not. Did Kentucky get an unfavorable whistle?
I think that there was at the end there was a call that was very controversial, yeah. But this is Kentucky versus Auburn, so it's not like I'm going to be really sad either one of them lost, so I can't feel too terrible about it.
Man, that win, though, Stephen Pearl
needed it
that
after
one.
What happened in Starkville on Wednesday. They absolutely had to have that game. Yes.
Yes.
So so getting that, it keeps. What's crazy about both Kentucky and Auburn is their net is good enough. They're both going to get in the tournament, right? In all likelihood, unless one of them just collapses here at the end these final 5 games. They're going to be fine and get in the tournament. But man, their fan bases are just mad. And at least with Pope, right? They're pumping a ton of money into basketball at Kentucky. They'll have talent. This is easily the most talented roster Stephen Pearl will ever get. He's not going to out-recruit his dad and what they've done there at Auburn. The talent level is going to continue to drop there as long as he's the coach.
Everybody loves Bruce Pearl. It was not talked about enough. We did it on this show, though. The timing in which he retired forced Auburn to hire his son. Mm-hmm. His, frankly, unqualified son for the job.
Right. That's done on purpose, though.
Of course. But nobody talked about it as, oh, look at this. Look at how sad Bruce is in the video and blah, blah, blah. And now John Cohen didn't have to give him a 6-year contract either.
That's where the mistake was. And I don't understand what power Pearl had there, where Cohen could have just been like, yeah, you can be the interim this year, and if we have a great season, we'll consider you. We're going to have a search, but you'll be a part of it. But instead, Cohen just comes out and says, nope, he's the permanent head coach. And now you're stuck with that guy.
Yeah, look at what Auburn built. How many sitting head coaches with tournament appearances would have taken the phone call? A whole lot.
A lot. Both coaches in this state would have at least listened.
You answer the phone.
Yeah. So you
probably don't go, but you answer the phone.
They're going to at least listen in. And, kind of goes to the stuff I've said about Cohen for a long time, that I just don't know what the thought process was here.
That was a Ross Bjork, Matt Luke contract type
You could
move.
absolutely have just made him your interim for this season, and in doing so, made him the interim head coach. What was I trying to say there? Make him the interim head coach, and then come back at the end of the year. And look, if he has a great season, if they're good, you can make him part of the search. He could even get the job.
Yeah.
But let the season play out.
The guys couldn't transfer.
Right.
I mean, I guess they could have, but nobody at that point. You're not transferring. Everybody's roster is set.
Right.
So the team would have been intact. It's just a total nonsense move.
It will never make sense to me.
But oh well, not State fans, you out there listening. Not your problem anymore, is it?
Yeah, we know the pain, but that's it. I'm starting to think there was nepotism. That's a harsh word. I don't know if that's the way we want to go or not. Yeah, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, But that has kind of become par for the course at Auburn in some ways. You know, I don't know that Hugh Freeze made a lot of sense for Auburn. I think Alex Galesh makes sense for Auburn, but we'll see.
And you know why Hugh Freeze made sense though?
Because he took the job.
Well,
because he beat Alabama.
Because he beat Alabama a decade prior. That's why he made sense. I hope that, if Matt Luke loses that Egg Bowl, he doesn't get the job either. So that has happened to Ole Miss in the past. Making a hire based off of a couple of wins a decade before you're making the hire is crazy work. It really is.
Yeah.
But that's why they have the most consecutive losing seasons in the SEC.
Still shocking statistic to say out loud.
It's unbelievable, man.
It really is.
We mentioned the Combine earlier. Something that I'm really interested in is we talked before about how the SEC is losing its dominance on the field, and the results bear that out.
Right.
The SEC is not as dominant as it used to be on the field.
It's definitely not. Yeah, 3 straight national titles say it all.
But one thing that people have continued to point to is, well, it's just more of a gauntlet. It's just more of a gauntlet. More teams have more NFL players in the SEC than the others, and that has been an objectively true fact. The SEC has been deeper with NFL players, and the NFL, despite what some of the media tell you, that they are the only motivation in the NFL is to win. They don't care about where a player came from. They don't care about anything. Can you help me win, yes or no?
Right.
And so the SEC has had more draft picks because that's where the better players are. What about this draft, though? If you look at some of the first-round projections, there's a real chance that not only the SEC doesn't dominate the draft, but the first round could very easily go to the Big Ten. And losing that as well takes a huge feather out of the cap of the SEC if that's what happens in the draft here in a couple of months.
Yeah. And that could happen.
It's possible that it does.
Yeah, I have to look at a mock, more mocks to see, where the players are lining up, but I don't know if I buy the gauntlet idea, though. I just feel like I think part of it is because there's so many teams in the SEC, the schedules are out of whack, so you're not really getting the same gauntlet. I'm not trying to take a shot at Ole Miss, but Ole Miss did not play Alabama. They didn't play Texas. They didn't play Texas A&M this year. They did play LSU, and they beat them. They played Georgia and lost to them. Oklahoma makes the playoff, but I'm still not entirely sure that Oklahoma team was really that good. Call me crazy. I know they were the number 8 team going into the playoff, but it's not just Ole Miss, right? Alabama is not playing everybody. You're not playing everyone like you did a decade ago, and I think that plays into it.
601-879-4395, the C Spire text line. 601-879-4395. We'll be back.
All-American man.
And the Venom.
I listen to it at work.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Did you get that memo?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad with you. We got this on the text line. Ole Miss won 2 playoff games, was an interference call away from the national title. Not that good? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark. There's 15 other teams in the SEC, though. Yeah, Ole Miss was a great team last year. They had a ball in the end zone to go to the national championship. It doesn't mean that the SEC is not losing its grip on its dominance of the sport. Two things can be true at the exact same time. Miami went to the national championship. The ACC is a bad conference right now,
and they beat 2 SEC teams in that March. You look at the SEC, their playoff wins. You got Ole Miss. They won against Tulane. I think we can all agree. Tulane, not exactly a college football powerhouse. Good team. Then they beat another SEC team. And we're sitting there saying the SEC is a little down. Well, they beat Georgia. Alabama beats another SEC team, a team that we're not too sure about. Then they get manhandled by Indiana. Texas A&M at home can't score a touchdown against Miami. So yeah, the SEC is clearly not what it was 5 years ago. Definitely not what it was 10 years ago. There's still plenty of good teams in there, but you don't have that top to bottom dominance that you had 5 years ago.
The results on the field bear that out too.
Yeah,
whatever metric
look at the
you
bowl
want to
games.
use.
I mean, whether you want to use that as a great example or not, because I know there are opt-outs, but Vanderbilt lost. Alabama, we mentioned them. State loses. Missouri gets handled by Virginia. LSU. They're just not great performances across the way for any of these teams.
Somebody says it's still hard to understand that Texas and Oklahoma are in the SEC. At least culturally, it fits. USC being in the Big Ten is just nonsense.
Yes.
USC and UCLA is nonsense.
I can make a case for Texas and Oklahoma having Southern roots, right?
Yeah.
They do some Southern things. Oregon is in the Big Ten. Like, Oregon-Rutgers is a Big Ten game. Neither one of those teams belong in the Big Ten, and yet there they are.
Frankly, yeah, you're right. Neither one. Yeah. Gosh, the Mick Cronin complaining about travel with their conference schedule.
Yeah.
Do you like your salary or not, dude?
Yeah. You're like Tim Robinson in the hot dog costume right this second. Isn't that his name, Robinson? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we're all trying to find the guy who did this.
Yeah, that's what you're doing right now. We're all trying to find the guy who did this. It's you. You did this. Nobody made UCLA go to the Big Ten. Nobody made this happen. UCLA could have easily said, you know what? Let's stay here. Let's try to keep the Pac-12 together. I think if UCLA had stayed, like Utah and Colorado, maybe they stay.
Probably.
And the Arizona schools. And you just rebuild the Pac-12. You could have added Boise and San Diego State. And you're not the same as you were, but you still got some enough cachet there. But that's not the way they wanted to do it. And now UCLA is likely never going to be a power in football again. And never going to be great. I mean, basketball, they're going to be fine, but, baseball, the number one team in the nation. That is one program that has benefited. UCLA baseball in the Pac-12, that you had some competition there with the Arizona schools, with Oregon State. UCLA baseball in the Big Ten, who do you have to worry about other than Oregon? Like, USC is not a great program. Washington's not a great program. Wisconsin doesn't even play baseball.
Yeah. Indiana and Michigan try, at least, but still.
Yeah, but they're not great.
Michigan had that one really good team.
Yes. There was. I mean, that guy, and then what did he do? He took a job in the South.
Yep.
And he's the coach of Clemson now. So, conference realignment has, as much as it has given you some good things, like we get all these great matchups. Like now that the SEC is going to the 9-game schedule, you're going to get a lot better quality of game. Mm-hmm. I don't agree that it helps the SEC, but the games will be better. But at the same time, it has also hurt these conferences because, go back to the ACC. Conference realignment kept their best team from almost being in the playoff. Their champion didn't get to go to the playoff. Because why? Not everybody gets to play everybody anymore. So you don't really know who the conference champion is. You're just like, we're trying to figure it out off of tiebreakers, on winning percentage, off schedules and stuff. It's just like, whatever happened to head-to-head? Yeah. Used to be in the conference, you played everybody, so it wasn't a problem. And it's just not that way anymore.
It is not that way anymore. Speaking of, well, never mind. I'm going to go a different direction when we start the 4 o'clock hour, actually, because this is for the baseball fan out there, especially if you're a Braves fan. Some really good news today. An interesting trend happening in the sports TV, like the ability to watch your team's space. Again, if you're a Braves fan in Mississippi, possibly some really good news came down today. We'll do that. We'll talk to Jacob Rudner. We'll update the baseball games as they're happening. Hour 1 in the books. We'll be back talking some more baseball in the 4 o'clock hour. Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Yeah!
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi back with you here on a Tuesday. Baseball just getting underway in Starkville and in Oxford. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi? In about 14 minutes, we're going to be talking to Jacob Rudner from Baseball America, getting set up for a huge week of baseball and really taking it into next week when you talk about the Mississippi State Southern Miss game that's coming up. Plus, what do we have in the college football fix today? We have
the most expensive rosters in college football. And if you're a State fan, look, you wanted Seton. Everybody wanted him. Mm-hmm. When you hear the number that one GM told Pete Nakos he was getting, mm-hmm. you wanted him, but also...
I read your number. I've heard it was higher.
Oh, my gosh.
I've heard
just insane.
I had people tell me it was higher. We'll talk about all that coming up later in the show. What's Up on Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Ag Up. Own the John Deere compact tractor you've always wanted. Now with 0% financing at Ag Up. Whether you're trading in, upgrading your land, or a new landowner needing equipment, your down-home team will get you the right machine at the right price. Now with 0% financing on all 1 through 4 series machines, stop by your local Ag Up or visit them at agup.com. Your down-home dealer. Offer ends April 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for detail. In Starkville, a leadoff walk, and then I'm not sure what happened. I was doing the read there, but they got a runner on second with nobody out in the top of the first. So William Kirk, not off to a great start in his first start as a Diamond Dog.
Yeah, 1 on, 1 out for Simo, runner on first, and there's also a 3-1 count. So we'll keep an eye on that. If you are a fan of a Major League Baseball team, an NBA team, an NHL team, an MLS team, you are familiar with the concept of RSNs, Regional Sports Networks. And it was how you were able to watch your team locally. You had Fox Sports New Orleans, Fox Sports Southeast. Well, the Grizzlies were Fox Sports South, right? And then Southeast was the Braves. Correct, yeah. And anyway, a bunch of local networks that aired all of these games and all of these teams. And an error is going to put 2 on for Simo.
Oh, no.
Pop up just beyond the second base bag.
Don't say that.
I swear. It dropped a lazy fly ball. Just a lot of guys in the same area, and just so 2 on, 1 out now.
That's tough.
Poor communication from the infield and center field. You had shortstop, second base, center field, all going after this fly ball. And I think it was Decker that ended up being the guy that made the attempt at it. Center field should call him off there, but he did not. And, so now 2 on with 1 out. That's what happens. But anyway, the Fox got sold to Bally, and then Bally tried to charge a bunch, and they made it harder to get. And then I guess FanDuel bought a lot of them, and then they made it even harder to get and more expensive. and fans had an impossible time watching their teams. I believe it was the Phoenix Suns that first started this trend where the team owns the rights to their games, right? Their local games. And Base Hit now should score a run for SEMO, and it will. So error leads to run in the top of the first.
Very similar in Starkville as leadoff walk leads to run, a sac fly, and it's 1-0 Austin Peay with 2 outs.
Not a banner start.
Nah, neither one.
But the Suns decided, you know what, forget this. We're not going to do this RSN thing anymore. We are going to own our rights. We are going to broadcast the games over the air, which means through an antenna on your local television station, for free, as long as you have an antenna, for our fans. And that trend has started growing. In fact, the Pelicans, the only good thing they've done, since Vietnam is that they have started doing that as well.
Since Vietnam?
You ever heard that expression? Haven't done that since Nam? Yeah.
Okay. I was like, what do Pelicans have to do with Vietnam?
But you can watch Jackson South. You can watch them over the air.
Yeah.
The Braves have now entered that fold. And guys, their reach is huge. Here's what they released today. They're calling it Braves Vision, a multimedia platform owned and operated by the organization. So the Braves own it. The Braves operate it. It will go through the Braves. And so they will produce in-house more than 140 games, pre- and post-game shows on TV throughout the regular season, 6 states, over the air. So if you have an antenna or you have a cable package that has your local channels, not everywhere in Mississippi, I'll give you the stations. It's 4 stations in Mississippi, but a huge portion of this state will get the Braves for free. And even if you don't get them for free, they will have a direct-to-consumer platform where you can buy the games that will not have the same restrictions that they used to have. So pre- and post-game shows and things like that. Here is in Mississippi where you will be able to watch the Braves for free. So WMC out of Memphis, which is the 5.5, channel 5.5. So that covers, I think that's Grenada North, and then I think if you're in Tupelo, Corinth, you won't be able to get it because you have your own local channel. But if you pick up Memphis local news, you will be able to watch the Braves. Unfortunately, Tupelo, Corinth, and I think Golden Triangle, you will not be able to get the Braves. Meridian, you will get it. So that
Joel Coleman punching air right this second. What do you mean?
So a station in Meridian, WOOK, I believe, will have it. WLBT in Jackson's going to have it, and that's a big reach. So you'll be able to watch the Braves over the air. Hattiesburg, WLHA, you'll be able to watch the Braves over the air. And Biloxi, WTBL, you'll be able to watch the Braves over the air. And I think WALA in Mobile also reaches into Mississippi ever so slightly. So if you pick up those channels and you're a Braves fan, you will get 140 Braves games, according to the release anyway, for free. You don't have to pay for a subscription, nothing. If you get the channel, you get to watch the Braves. That is a great thing that this is the trend now in professional sports. I love this.
This is the way it's got to be because these regional networks, and I got to tell you, like, I'm a Saints fan, right? I never a problem watching the Saints. The Lakers and the Giants, right? I could never get I'm not paying for NBA TV or MLB TV. But even if I was, like, I'm not staying up till midnight to watch those games for the most part, right? So I'm such an outlier because the 2 of the pro teams I support are on the West Coast, and I wouldn't do it anyway. But for so many Braves fans, I heard all the time, like, how terrible these regional sports networks were. You couldn't get games. Nothing was the way it was supposed to be. So the fact that the team itself is taking the reins here, I think that's a great idea. And I hope that more teams are able to do it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Ole Miss got out of the inning, by the way, 1-0 in the bottom of the first now in Oxford. So yeah, I mean, the Braves have decided we are already the South's team. We're going to make sure we are. they have stations that cover basically the entire state of Georgia. They actually don't touch the southern border of Georgia. But mention Mobile. They're in Mobile, Birmingham, Huntsville, Montgomery, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Greenville, where I grew up, Columbia, Charleston, Charlotte, Myrtle Beach, Knoxville, Nashville, Memphis, Jackson, Mississippi. I mean, they are like making sure that they keep that foothold of being the South's major league team, and they're not letting that grip go. I love that.
Yeah, and as you know, the Braves are the South's team. Like, the Cardinals have a small foothold because, you know, I think that goes back to the old days where you could still pick up. I forget the name of that station. I'm sure some of our listeners can tell me, but you could pick up the Cardinals AM station.
That's how Mr. Paul Gallo became a Cardinals
Absolutely. I know a ton of especially of older Mississippians who were Cardinals fans because they could get those games on the radio. But the Braves with TBS is such an iconic thing around the South, and everybody was I don't know. The people I know who are baseball fans in this state, by and large, are Braves fans. Yeah. You know, I know a few here and there that aren't, but yeah, that's a thing. And so, improving their coverage is just smart. And at a time where baseball is trying to regain so much of its market, because we know that they are clearly at absolute best, the third most popular sport. They're probably not the third most, but that's where they are at best. They're behind pro and college football. Yes. Just doing whatever you can to get your product out there is just smart business.
It really is. So good stuff for in an era where the fans are getting the shaft so often. Not anymore. At least in this case, anyway.
It's not going. Ace Reese with one right off the top of the wall. Literally 3 inches from a game-tying solo home run. I mean, off the bat, I said, that's gone. And it should have been.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We will keep talking baseball with Jacob Rudner when we come back on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. We'll be back.
Believe what I'm hearing.
This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi, back with you here on a Tuesday. We go down to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com to go with the home team. Our friend Jacob Rudner from Baseball America joins us. This is going to be a great week of baseball here in the Magnolia State. Let's look back at last weekend, though, Jacob, and we'll start in Hattiesburg. I know UCLA swept the number 7 team in the country, TCU. They're off to the best start. We'll give them that. But has anyone done more for their May resume through 2 weeks than Southern Mississippi has?
Yeah, they're certainly up there, and we view them as a team that, it's funny, we were just talking about it today, has a real chance to make a deep run this season. And we actually talked about that before the year. They showed off the experience. They showed off the strength on the roster. And I think that more than just the sheer scores, which will obviously matter. Wins and losses determine everything, and who you beat is particularly important. And they've checked that box as well. But kind of what you put on the tape matters in this point in the season, too, because it gets eyes on you. I think that the committee takes notice this early for teams that kind of do it loudly, and Southern Miss has checked that box as well. So it's been a very strong resume-building start to the season, for sure.
And then their week is they have Alabama tonight in Hattiesburg. That should be a tremendous game. And then a 3-game set with Louisiana Tech. That's a program that, can find its way into the NCAA tournament. Next week, is it possible we're looking at a top 10 matchup between Mississippi State and Southern Mississippi when the Bulldogs go to Hattiesburg?
On the Baseball America poll, I would say that'll probably be difficult. Right now we have Southern Miss at 18. We think that they could make a pretty considerable rise, so a top 15 or maybe even a top 12 matchup wouldn't surprise me given the level of talent that Southern Miss will be facing this week. If they win all 4 games, to me that's another very loud statement, and it can cause them to rocket up pretty high. Is that going to be an 8-spot jump? Not without some help, in my opinion, just based on how our poll operates. I mean, we really like Southern Miss this year, but there is also a dynamic of having to kind of respect the dynamics of how the poll works, where teams started at the beginning of the season. And so is it going to be a top 10 matchup next week? Doubtful, but is it a top 10 matchup if it was played in 2 weeks or 3 weeks? I'd say there's a decent chance for sure.
Speaking of polls, there's a lot of them in college baseball, but I mean, totally unbiased view here, Jacob. Yours is the best. You guys have Ole Miss at number 11, whereas the others a little bit lower, a lot lower on the Rebels than you guys at Baseball America are. What do you see in them that maybe the others don't?
You know, I was actually surprised, and to be clear, this is no shot at any of my fellow rankings people throughout the industry. Everybody does a great job and sees things differently. But I was surprised to see that there was kind of a widespread opinion on Ole Miss when it was, for us, number 16 to start the year, for others not ranked at all. And the reason we had them ranked 16th to start the season was because you look at that roster, and maybe it's not terribly prospect heavy from an MLB draft standpoint, but it certainly has as much or more experience than arguably any team in the country. And that's proven to work, especially in the SEC. I think that you can attribute a lot of the success that Kentucky had a couple of years ago when it made the run to the College World Series, merely to the fact that they did a great job in the portal of loading up on guys who were juniors and seniors and just simply increasing the average roster age. You bring in physical strength, you bring in game maturity, and both of those things really matter. I think that Ole Miss has that in spades, and that's throughout the lineup. That's in the rotation, including the transfers that they brought in. Obviously, Hunter Elliott, we know exactly what he is. And he hasn't even been their best starter so far this season. So, to me, all I've seen are validations of the confidence that we had in this very experienced roster. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them continue to rise. If they can become a top 10 team soon, that would make a lot of sense to me. I think it's a roster that has that potential.
Facing Baylor, Ohio State, and Coastal Carolina this weekend in Houston. What can you say about the three teams they're up against?
Yeah, it's an interesting weekend. Honestly, more so for the Coastals of the world because they're kind of in a weird spot. And it brings me to this. I think that it's a very winnable weekend for Ole Miss. I think that they can do a lot of damage and impress against some brand names, Coastal in particular. But Baylor's nothing to sneeze at. I think that they've kind of shown some steps of maybe moving in the right direction after some slow years under Mitch Thompson. He seems to finally have a roster that's going to be pretty competitive. They can hit for power. Their pitching is reasonably solid. And so that'll be a little bit of a test. I think that Ohio State is a matchup that Ole Miss should win rather handily. And then Coastal is kind of a question of which Coastal we're going to get. It's a lineup that I think has the potential to be very good. We haven't seen it really break out consistently yet. And then the real question is, will they have Cameron Flukie? Because if they don't, they're going to have to pitch off again with their rotation. If their ace is back, it changes the complexion of that Sunday matchup. So that's kind of a big ticket one on their schedule this week, but I think it is 4 games that will continue to kind of show us exactly what Ole Miss is going to be this year.
Has Mississippi State looked like the team you thought they were going to be preseason?
Yeah, I would say that they certainly have. I mean, anytime a team is 8-0 to start the year is going to be pretty validating. You know, the strengths to me of this roster also lie in the experience, but they do have some real draft upside. And whether that's in this year's class or the next 2 classes, it's well distributed. But guys like Ace Reese are obviously very high profile. Jack Bauer, who we've only seen for a minute, is very high profile and has huge potential. But I think Ryan McPherson is in a position to be a big-time draft riser. He's got great stuff. He's an athletic mover for his size, and he's done really well in that Friday night role. And so I think that this is a team that is deep in terms of how it was recruited. Their bullpen has a lot of options, which is obviously important. You guys don't need me to tell you that. And then the lineup is capable of doing damage in a number of ways, and they've shown that so far in their 8-0 start.
State in one of these 3-game tournament or these round-robin tournaments as well this weekend. I feel like I have a pretty good handle on Arizona State and UCLA. Virginia Tech is a program I know next to nothing about. What about the Hokies?
You know, they're compelling this year. I wouldn't say that they're a tournament team just by looking at them on paper. I think that it's a roster that probably falls just below the cut line. But the results so far do speak for themselves. You start a season 6-1. That's definitely going to catch people's attention, and I think it has. They've done a good job of hitting the ball over the wall. There are pitching questions there. They had some departures over the offseason that I think are impactful. But they've also beaten some good teams so far that have kind of shut up the concerns. You beat William & Mary in a sweep to open the year, and then they go and win 2 of 3 against Rutgers. I think that it's a team that has the potential to be kind of pesky in a matchup like that, but I do think that Mississippi State should emerge victorious in that.
How much should we read into what happened in Knoxville this past weekend?
I don't think too much. Any early season result is going to feel loud, and I think that it obviously matters. I mean, we slid Tennessee from number 13 in our poll to number 19, and we don't take a jump like that lightly. I would say still, though, Penn State's not bad. I think that that's a team that could make a push, whether it's for the conference's at-large, automatic bid, or even be an at-large, especially with a series victory like that this early in the season. And I also think that Tennessee has some things to figure out, and whether that's on the coaching side, because there are automatically growing pains for a first-time head coach in terms of doing things that he's never had the opportunity to do before, and he should get that opportunity, and I would imagine that they'll smooth out over time. It's a talented roster. I think that Tegan Coons is one of the better right-handed pitchers in this draft. I think Landon Mack is somebody who's going to be a pretty noisy name in next year's draft. They got to figure out the Sunday role. Evan Blanco from Virginia didn't look great this past weekend, but you got Brandon Arvidsson coming back, who we saw lots of last year, and he was great. Thought he was a draft guy, and he chose to go back to school. Henry Ford, the third baseman, has looked pretty talented to me to start the season so far, and Blaine Brown is a superstar in the making for next year's draft as well. I still have a pretty high degree of confidence that they're going to be fine.
About 90 seconds left, Jacob. Oklahoma is another team that's been off to an awesome start this season. How good can the Sooners be?
I think that their potential is sky high. And that's one of the teams that I've really kind of gravitated towards in the first 2 weeks of the season. They just kind of have everything. I mean, the pitching is talented. You got Cam Johnson in the Friday role, and we've been long waiting for him since he was a high schooler to just kind of start to throw strikes, because he had the stuff and the velocity and just the game talent to be a really good starter. So far, he looks the part. LJ Mercurius from UNLV, excellent Saturday starter, maybe the best Saturday starter in the country. And then I think the lineup, while maybe deficient a little bit in the power department, is really scrappy. Camden Johnson, the third baseman, is a spark plug. I mean, he's going to get on base at a high clip. He's already got 11 stolen bases on the season. We view him as a fringy top 100 prospect already at this point in the season. Maybe somebody who can move to center field if they need it. I really like that team, and I think that they're going to go a long way. They're also super well coached, which makes it easy to be confident.
Jacob, we got a lot of baseball to play. We're going to keep bringing you on to talk about it. Thanks for joining us, man.
Appreciate you having me.
Jacob Rudner, Baseball America. He joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. Some bad news in Starkville. Starting pitcher William Kirk has had to leave the game. Came down funny from a pitch. It was a leg injury, not an arm injury. Now, he did have a leg injury last season that kept him out of the they didn't play last year with a season-ending knee injury. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But he had to leave the game, and Mississippi State has gone to Chris Billingsley out of the bullpen, trailing 1-0 in the top of the second.
Well, Miss has chased SEMO's starter still in the bottom of the first. They played at 3. Hadad, his name? Caden Kickhafer. Caden Kickhafer. Kickhafer.
I'm going Norwegian. Maybe Finnish. I don't know. He
also looks like he's 50, and he's lived many lives and worked on, many offshore drilling sites.
Possible.
Man. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back.
From the Seabrook.com.
Hey guys, what's happening? What the heck are you doing?
Sports Talk Mississippi on your radio and in the game. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Borkey and Hadad with you. Somebody on the text line says, pretty sure, speaking of the Braves going over the air here in Mississippi, says, I'm pretty sure that the OTA games will be something like a 30-game package, won't broadcast every game. The release was a little confusing. I did see Barrett Salee added some context. They have not said exactly how many games go over the air. The Pelicans started that way, too. They did 10 games to feel it out. This was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Anyway, but they did 10 games, and the team stunk out loud. It was like Bally Sports New Orleans or whatever, but they allowed 10 games to be broadcast over the air in select markets, and the rating was like 10 times bigger for all of the games. And they decided, what are we doing here? Let's do this for all of it. And that'll happen to the Braves, too. They'll do the select package of over-the-air games. They will draw a massive number for them, and then it'll become every game in short order. So there you go. Update in Starkville.
In Starkville, State has first and second with nobody out. Ryder Woodson at the plate trying to tie the game or perhaps take a lead, although he did just strike out looking. So one down now for the Bulldogs. Still down 1-0 to Austin P. In Oxford?
3-1 Ole Miss, top second. Rudner and Becerra continue to just be on an absolute tear. Both of them are hitting at or above 500 right now. They've been spectacular, and they were the reason for that inning becoming what it was, and they're just on a tear. So 3-1.
Let's do a quick look around the SEC. 4 games in progress outside of the ones here in Mississippi. In Fayetteville, kind of a surprising one here. Arkansas State all over their in-state rivals from Arkansas, 8-3 in the top of the 5th inning. In Knoxville, Tennessee up 1-0 in the top of the 6th over Bellarmine. That's Bellarmine. Missouri up 6-1 at home against Arkansas Pine Bluff. And the other game that's a surprising one, we were just talking about Oklahoma and how good they look. They're playing Mississippi State's Friday opponent, Arizona State, and the Sun Devils are up big, 8-0 in the top of the 2nd inning over the Sooners. So that's going to be a tough game for Mississippi State come Friday when they get out to Arlington for the Amagi Bank Classic Tournament.
So there you go.
Later tonight in the SEC, 5:30 first pitch in Nashville, Vanderbilt, and Evansville. I guess these are Eastern time, so it'll be 4:30. 5:30 in Florida, they'll take on Florida International. Texas A&M hosting Lamar. Southern Miss hosting Alabama. We've told you about that one. LSU hosting McNeese State, and UT Rio Grande Valley will be in Austin to take on the Longhorns tonight.
Didn't UTRGV put like 6,000 people into their stadium for their season opener last weekend?
Possibly.
Something like that.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, then they have a football program that has like a massive fan base already.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a fairly new athletics department there. And they have all kinds of crazy local support. So that's Texas for you. By the way, the station was KMOX.
I'll take y'all's word for it, but that sounds right. I'm not old enough to remember.
The Cardinals station.
The old Cardinals AM station. Yeah, you could hear Jack Buck back in the day. I guess Harry Carey before him.
Baseball is by far the most enjoyable radio listen.
It's not close. Because football and basketball, you got to be paying attention at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball has lulls. It's just slower paced. You can put it on. It can be in the background. You just can't do that. If you're listening to a basketball game, you're listening. You're locked in.
Basketball is the worst to listen to.
It's so tough because it goes so fast. Football is tough as well, but
imagine listening to hockey on the radio. I've never done it. There's no way that
hockey or soccer, like the English teams. I don't know if they have radio over there, but
they do.
Like how does that work? It can't be good. Hockey's got to be unbelievable. State's loaded the bases here, still just one out in the bottom of the second. HBP Aiden Teal took one off the back, so bottom of the order here. Bryce Chance. I mean, if this is what I like saying about Mississippi State. If the 9th place hitter in your order is Bryce Chance, that's a good lineup. Bryce Chance is a guy who's hit 300 in the SEC. I mean, he's a good hitter, veteran, and he's batting 9th for this team. So we'll see if State can get something going.
Runners on 2nd and 3rd now for SEMO after a walk.
The Redhawks, aren't they?
The Redhawks. I'm trying to see what happened that got them to 2nd and 3rd because it was not a base hit.
What if I had a device that could tell us this?
Just a stolen base. They stole 2nd and 3rd.
Double steal.
The old double steal.
It gave me the old razzle-dazzle.
And so 2nd and 3rd, 1 out for SEMO in the top of the 2nd.
Yeah.
Speaking of hockey.
Numbers.
18.6 million people on a Sunday morning watched the gold medal game between the United States and Canada. That game started at 8 o'clock Eastern, so 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 a.m. Pacific time, and 18.6 million people watched it. For comparison, that was just under the gold medal game on NBC for USA-France basketball, which was a much better time slot.
Yeah, it was like in the middle of the afternoon on a Sunday.
That's more than the Chiefs-Chargers Brazil game to open the NFL season. That was on YouTube, but still, that was more people than watched Chiefs-Chargers, and that is more people than watched this year's Big Ten championship game between Indiana and Ohio State.
I believe I saw it is the highest-rated sporting event ever to start before 8 a.m.
That is amazing.
So
it really is amazing.
Bryce Chance comes through for Mississippi State, a 2 RBI single, and the Dogs grab a 2-1 lead.
Base hit's going to score 2 for SEMO, or it should score 2. Let's see if the second run gets in. It does not. They held him up at third, actually. Okay. So
first, you feel like you've been getting. You've got 4 hits through one and a third innings.
Yeah, they've been squaring Hayes up.
You might as well see if you can have a big inning. Yeah, there's no reason to risk anything.
Might need to be time to consider pulling him. He has not fooled them really at all so far in the early going.
Who is that? Owen Kelly.
Kelly.
Oh, they've already changed him. They've already made a pitching.
So they brought in Kelly. Kelly probably should have started the game.
But, that's funny because I'm on the live stats. I'm not watching.
Yeah,
you know how that's always quicker, guys. I'm going to give you all this. I think we've talked about it here on the show before. If you can't watch, but you want to keep up with the game and you want the most up to date thing, stat.statbroadcast.com. Now, some places will lock those stats where you have to be in the press box to get them. But by and large, they are open, and it is way ahead of any stream. The only thing that would be faster is being at the ballpark itself. Even the radio is going to be a little bit behind stat broadcasts. So if you're in a position where you can't watch the game but you want to keep up, bookmark that website.
Yeah.
And they do football, basketball, baseball. You can keep up with tennis. You can keep up with anything you want on statbroadcast.com. It's all organized by school. It's a very helpful tool for sports fans. Yeah.
Somebody's asking, can't you sometimes hear the ping of the bat over the radio? Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely you can. Absolutely.
They might have the windows closed today because of the weather, but when it gets nice, they'll open the window up too. And
you can hear it. You can get the great. That's the thing about baseball. Again, you have that ambient noise, the sound of the ballpark that you just don't have as much in football, right? Because it's just so play driven. Like you're just focused on the next play. With baseball, you got especially who does color commentary? It's Brad Henderson, right? So you got a former player for the Rebels. State, you've either got Coach Polk or you've got Jay Powell. They're up there telling stories. Polk's giving you this complete scouting report. It's great stuff.
I think one of the last state games I was listening to on the radio is when Ron Polk was complaining about the new lights.
I can believe it.
And not the new lights in Starkville. I mean, the new lights, the technology of the new lights were awful. He doesn't like them. And you don't get that in other sports. I wish basketball commentator or radio, and this goes for literally all of them, would stop with the names. If you don't know every name of every player on the court, just go team.
Yeah.
The Pelicans have the ball. Like, the Pelicans are doing this. The Blazers are doing this. Back and forth instead of Johnson swings it to Jones, and Jones kicks out to who? And it's like, who's got the ball right now? I have no idea.
Yeah. If you aren't keeping up, it can be a problem. I understand that.
So he says, I'm sufficiently old enough that I have watched both gold medal games in hockey. Yeah, my dad, he and I talked about that. He was in college during the Miracle on Ice.
Yeah.
It's crazy, the parallels with numbers and dates and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Did you see the video going around of the movie Miracle, and when Coach is making cuts and he's got a roster and it's a scene where he's drawing a line through names of players that he cut, and one of them is Jack Hughes?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Apparently he was one of the last cuts of the 80 team.
I mean, he was negative 10 years old or whatever it is. Yeah. There's no way he could have been an effective player.
That's how awesome an American he is. So I'm going to give you this to think about during the break then, because we had this question come into us today for the Thunder and Lightning podcast. I want your take on it.
Okay.
Your favorite Olympic moment in your lifetime? So don't
So I
answer it
can't
now.
say this one.
You can't. You could say this one if it is indeed
That's
your
a
favorite.
cop-out. So I'll pick a different one.
If it's your favorite, make it your favorite. If it's not, tell us what it is. And you can tell us yours on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. I'm interested to see how far back we can go. How old are our listeners? You got anything from the 60s or the 70s you want to hit us up with? We'll get Borkey's favorite Olympic moment. I'll tell you mine as well when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi with you on a Tuesday.
In the Venom.
Let's go. To the junction, in the grove, and to the top.
Don't hurt yourself.
Sports Talk Mississippi on Super Talk Mississippi.
And my answer was really easy, by the way.
All right.
Not this one. Not Sunday morning.
So our question was, for if you missed it before we went to the break, what is your favorite Olympic moment in your lifetime? Now, in my lifetime, the Miracle on Ice did happen, but I have no memory of it. I was 4. So I will not count that as mine. What is Michael Borkey's favorite Olympic moment?
Beijing 2008.
Okay.
4x100 relay. Jason Lezak catches the French in the final leg to keep Michael Phelps' gold medal streak alive.
That's a good one.
Sounded a little something like this.
Oh, you got it.
Absolutely going to be shattered here. The United States trying to hang on a second. They should get the silver medal. Australia is in bronze territory right now, but Lezak is closing a little bit on Bernard. Can the veteran chase him down and pull off a shocker here? Well, there's no doubt that he's tightening up. Bernard is losing some ground. Here comes Lezak. Unbelievable at the end. He's done it. The U.S. has done it. He did it. He did it. Phelps' hope's alive.
Very nice.
It was incredible. I remember screaming at Lezak at the time. Because remember, Phelps was superstar, I guess is what the expression that you would use, but back in 2008, it wasn't lame to, be proud of somebody representing your country and hope they do well. Mm-hmm. He had the entire country paying attention to what he was doing that year. And, the French were smoking him. You hear their tone before the last lap. Oh, the Americans is hoping to hold on to silver. In 50 meters to cover almost an entire body length against the French, who, by the way, were talking a whole lot of junk before that event too. to catch them and win like that was unbelievable. Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Mine is the first Dream Team because it's American basketball had dominated for so long, and then the Euros, they start putting it together, and I believe in '88 they won. They didn't. The Americans didn't win gold, and they were like, well, enough of that. And so they put together the Dream Team. And, it's just difficult to understand how ridiculous that first Dream Team was with Magic Johnson, Bird, Jordan, Barkley, Malone, Ewing, David Robinson, Stockton, all those guys. It's just so good. And they were just they murdered teams. They absolutely destroyed them. It was American dominance at its absolute finest. It's kind of funny that we had a few years where we got away from it again. And they had to put together the Redeem Team. That's the one where Kobe and LeBron and Dwayne Wade were all like, all right, we're playing. Enough. Yeah. And they got back out there and got the gold again. So, but that first Dream Team for me is the answer.
A lot of good.
Some good ones and some ones I'm just not going to read. Just like some of them, just like, eh.
Yeah.
Guys, if that's really your best Olympic moment, eh.
If not this one, anything Phelps was so fun to watch, or Apollo in short track. Not the actual game related, but saw the Olympic flame pass through Memphis in '84. That's really cool.
That is cool, yeah.
Remember the worst Olympics moment was when the injured gymnast landed the vault for the team gold. It was delayed on the TV, but the anchor said they won the gold at the end of the nightly news. Oh, no. You spoiled your own broadcast of the event that nobody knows what the results are.
That sounds about right,
You can't do that. Oh, man. The skier wiping out. Paul from Columbus. You're talking about the one that...
Talking about the Wild World of Sports, the agony of defeat.
Bob Hayes in the 68 Olympics winning the 100 meters, fastest human on Earth, and Miracle on Ice in 1980.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray Leonard winning gold at the 76 Olympics against the Cuban knockout artist. A lot of these are before my time.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah, another one for the injured ankle in 96 in Atlanta for Kerry Strug.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, that between that one and maybe Mary Lou Retton, the two most famous American gymnasts before Simone Biles, for sure.
Yeah, I actually found this video. I'm glad I proofed these. Somebody says there's a video on YouTube where you can just watch Phelps, the whole leg of the race, and you can hear Phelps screaming, "Catch that
Merlaton fryer."
Yeah, that. And I found that video, and it's really funny.
We are going to be selling T-shirts that say Merlaton fryer.
What is that, by the way?
A Merlaton? It's like it's like a fruit. It's like a vegetable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
It's very big in Cajun cooking. Let me see exactly.
Why have I not heard that before then?
It's like you know what a chayote squash is?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
But the Cajuns call it a Merlaton. They make dressing with it down in for Thanksgiving and stuff.
Huh.
Or like oyster and Merlaton dressing is a thing.
Can't believe I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Huh. We will be back with your college football fix. Some intel from GMs around the country via Pete Nakos. Really good, informative stuff there. I've got the Tigers in my mentions all hot and bothered because I said that there's no excuse for them to not be a championship contender. And I think you will agree with me once you hear what they spent.
I agree with you 100%.
On their roster. Sports Talk Mississippi, college football fix after the news.
The sports. This is Sports Talk Mississippi.
Sounds good.
On Super Talk Mississippi.
Hey, mama said the way you move gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
Offense is happening right now in baseball. Ole Miss has opened up an 8-2 lead, still batting in the bottom of the second, and then a big fly in Starkville.
Yeah, Aiden Teal with his first home run as a Bulldog, and it's a grand slam. Mississippi State now up 7-1 over Austin Peay.
Let's go, P.
There you go.
That is literally their chant. I think it's their website, too.
It is. So props to them for embracing that. Let's embrace the college football fix.
Nailed it.
The college football fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough, the best-selling truck in America. The Ford F-150. You want to embrace a new vehicle? You're looking for a new truck to get your arms around? There's only one option out there. The best truck in America, the Ford F-150. Drive one today at your Mississippi Ford dealers. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Pete Nakos put this out there. Some intel after talking to 14 different college football general managers across the conferences, not 14 SEC ones, but got intel from around the country and asked some basic questions. Here are a few of the highlights. You want to read the whole thing, you can at On 3. Some of the things that stood out to me, though, in this. Number one, to no surprise, LSU, when asked who was the top spender, who has the most expensive roster? Overwhelmingly, the responses were LSU. Multiple GMs believe that the roster exceeds $40 million for this season. $40 million for this roster for this season. They even had a quote in there. They've got the most expensive roster in the sport. And word is that Sam Levitt got somewhere between $5 and $6 million to play quarterback for LSU this year.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for Levitt too. I'm just not.
They needed a win after Trinidad was not going to transfer.
By the way,
he was going to go to Tennessee after they screwed up the Damon Williams thing.
It's hard to believe that LSU, knowing what we know about what they spent, like, what's the number from Ole Miss for Trinidad? We've heard is 7.
No, it's north of 5.
North of 5. It's really hard to believe that he must just not have wanted to go to LSU. I feel like if you want to have a PR win, I can't believe LSU wasn't willing to go to 6 or 7 on Trinidad. So it feels So it feels like he just didn't want to go there. He wanted to stay at Ole Miss because he could have gotten, if he had told Kiffin, "I'll come for $7 million," he'd be in Baton Rouge. Right?
He'd have gotten it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
the LSU burner accounts in my mentions. I truly believe this, though. I'm not trolling when I think this. In today's college football, there is no rebuilding year when you spend $40 million on your roster. You don't get a grace period. You don't get rebuilding.
Right.
If you're going to brand yourself as just different and all that stuff, you cannot do anything other than make the playoff and make noise in said playoff. You can't go one and done. With a $40 million plus roster, what multiple GMs have said is the most expensive in the sport, you don't get grace. There's no such thing as grace when you do that.
Yeah, I mean, you spent that money. You've got a quarterback who's been to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You got plenty of talent around him. You put the best left tackle in the game on his blind side to protect him. You brought back. I mean, also, I don't think it can be understated that bringing Blake Baker back, having that continuity there is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got to go to the playoff. If in year one they're not in the playoff, they're going to be looking around.
The parallels to 2024 for Kiffin,
they're very similar.
Are very, very similar because there was no excuses. None. Zero for Ole Miss to have missed the playoff in 24. The roster was good enough to make the playoff. And frankly, if you'd have kept Quinshawn with how good you were defensively, a national championship contending team.
Not even keep Quinshawn Judkins, just run the ball with Ulysses Bentley. You had the right guy on the roster and just didn't give him the ball.
Just don't play the fifth-string wide receiver in Gainesville.
Exactly.
I mean, look at what Miami did. With how good you played defensively, I mean, you can beat anybody. And they were the number 2 defense in college football. Got after the quarterback better than anybody, and they fell short. And there were no excuses for losing. That's the same thing here. And the schedule, I'm telling you, man, is brutal for LSU. Now, they open with Clemson. I saw Moscona, who I assume he'll be in Tampa, so we'll get to visit with him there. I'm sure our audience is just jacked up to hear from him this time around. But the line came out that Clemson's an 11.5-point underdog. And he said, can't figure out if this is more of a positive about Kiffin and LSU and more of an indictment on Clemson. And I think that line's not big enough to be either, right?
Right. I think an 11-point line. Clemson is a program that should not be an 11-point underdog to just about anybody.
To anybody.
So the fact that they are tells you where Clemson is.
But they open with Clemson, host Louisiana Tech, and then go to Ole Miss, host A&M and McNeese before they go to Kentucky, host State, go to Auburn, host Alabama.
Who's the fourth game of the year for LSU?
It's Clemson, Louisiana Tech, McNeese, and...
Say A&M?
That's it.
Where did you say A&M?
A&M's week 4.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's who they play after LSU.
Yes.
Is A&M.
It's at Ole Miss, A&M, McNeese at Kentucky, State, at Auburn, and this is how they close. Alabama, Texas, at Tennessee, at Arkansas.
I'm not even worried about that, though. We'll know everything we want to know after week 4. They're 4-0. They're off and running. They're 3-1. They're probably okay. They're 2-2, and you've got a huge problem.
Somebody says 2 things. Texas A&M did it and lost, and LSU got the best players in the portal. Not the best, he says, not the best girl in the country.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know, but yeah, A&M did it and lost, and it cost Jimbo his job. Because I've seen a lot of that. Well, but having the most expensive roster doesn't mean you'll have the best team. Well, that's on coaching at that point, brother.
Exactly. If you've got the talent, you've got no excuses. LSU is going to be more talented than a lot of teams. They should be able to be.
On paper, they should be more talented than every team they play.
Maybe not Texas.
Maybe not Texas.
You know, and then at the key positions, who do I like better, Chambliss or Levitt?
Chambliss.
I mean, LSU doesn't have a guy like Kejuan Lacey.
Harlan Berry is not Kejuan Lacey.
He's not Kejuan Lacey. So, Ole Miss has got some advantages there. A&M is going to have some advantages on them as well.
And I mean,
Alabama will have some advantages on them.
The road games. I mean, I know Auburn's not, but you still have to go to Jordan-Hare. You have to go to Neyland.
Mm.
You think Texas is going to be easy in your place? You think Alabama? There's a lot of pressure, a whole lot of pressure, and maybe he handles it differently this time. The one thing when it comes to running a program that Kiffin does poorly is deal with the emotional games well.
Right.
When he would coach against Nick Saban, he coached like an absolute clown against Nick Saban. It's like he couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Couldn't handle it. The pressure in 24, couldn't handle it. There was no pressure on his football team in 25, none. Did anybody expect them to be worth anything at all? No.
And that's part of the reason they were good. I think they played. They didn't play with a chip on their shoulder. They just played football. Mm-hmm. They didn't worry about it.
Yeah.
And the wins just kept coming.
And maybe he had 1 foot out the door too. And so
maybe by the end of the season there was some pressure, but they were good enough and they had enough momentum to get through it. I mean, really, second half of the season, Oklahoma, I never felt like they were going to lose that game. Florida, they were just better than Florida and made it easy. Mississippi State, they were just much better than Mississippi State, and they made it easy. So.
And he had 1 foot out the door anyway, so you're not worried about the result when you're leaving regardless of what the result is. I mean, he would never admit this. Based on some things that you hear in conversations, he probably thought it'd be better if they'd have lost one of those games down the stretch.
Yeah.
Make the breakup clean. There was all the way dating back to the Oklahoma game. After the Oklahoma game, it got weird with the coaching staff because it was like, hey, I'm leaving. It's like, what do you mean you're leaving? You just beat Oklahoma. You have one loss. What are you talking about? So, a lot of pressure. He has not handled that well. Maybe he can this time. Other intel, among the other biggest spenders, Hadad mentioned Texas. That's one. Texas Tech, no surprise.
No surprise.
Miami, also no surprise.
No, considering what they had to spend just to get Mensah out of Duke probably is a big chunk of that.
Next down on the list, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and now Indiana is playing the money game now. They didn't win a championship on the money game. They're playing it now.
Yeah. That's a little scary.
Yeah, it is. For the Big Ten, anyway. Apparently, Wisconsin also was a name that got brought up as a team that people were like, hey, they're spending
They had
now.
to get some money. They had to get some players because they certainly don't have the coach.
No, they do not. Ole Miss was mentioned a couple of times. They mentioned teams that did a really good job in retention in particular.
Surprising that State wasn't mentioned in terms of retention. State brought everybody they wanted to bring back.
Yeah,
Didn't lose Bothwell, didn't lose Evans, didn't lose Isaac Smith, didn't lose Kelly Jones. Like, who did you want him to keep?
It's your college football fix. We'll stick on this for a little bit. Driven by Ford and your local Mississippi Ford dealer. We'll be back.
From the Venom. Take the friggin' wax out of your ears. Did you hear me?
This is Sports Talk. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Woo! I say, sports fans.
Now, here's more on Super Talk Mississippi.
Top of the third in Oxford. Game started an hour and 20 minutes ago. I mean, it just now entered the top of the third. It's 9-2, Ole Miss over SEMO.
In Starkville, Jack Bauer into the game. A couple of strikeouts, but does load the bases. They've taken him out of the game, so he didn't even get a full inning of work, just 2/3 of an inning. Jack Gleason has taken over for Bauer. Mississippi State still leading 7-1 there in the top of the fourth. A couple other scores I want to update. In top of the eighth in Fayetteville, Arkansas State continues to lead Arkansas 11-3. And in Norman, Oklahoma, top of the fourth, Arizona State. They're what, I guess 9 outs away from a run rule win here. Arizona State leading Oklahoma 14-2 in the top of the – I can't believe we talked about Oklahoma with Jacob Rudner, and then they just laid an egg like that. See what happens?
Insane.
And then Tennessee has opened it up on Bellarmine. They're up 8-0. Missouri all over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 15-1. And that's all. And then Vanderbilt has gotten underway. They're up 6-0 in the bottom of the second against Evansville.
The last bit of intel from NACOS was that Jordan Seaton, the Colorado transfer offensive tackle that ended up at LSU, was up to $6 million for the season. But you said that might even be an undersell?
I had heard 8.5. That was the number that I heard.
I saw an NFL person, and of course he got attacked by
who's the best left tackle in the NFL right now?
Oh, I have no idea.
Left tackle NFL. Let's see who it is. They say Tristan Wirfs. Okay. I can agree with that. He's a really good player. What's his salary? He makes $28.2. Best left tackle in the NFL is only worth $20 million more. That's crazy. Crazy. I mean, I don't know if State would have, if he had said, I'll come to Mississippi State for 8.5. I don't know for a fact the State would have paid that or not. I had heard that State was committed all the way through, that they were like, we'll pay whatever. But 8.5 is a big number.
It's more than half of your rev share for the entire roster.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, now we're talking about you got to find other ways.
Yeah.
So,
and of course,
they'll find it. It's not an issue, but yeah.
I saw an NFL draft analyst during that whole saga say, like, hey, I've watched this tape for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. I don't see it. Like, especially in the run game, he's not good compared to what people are saying that he is. If he's the number one overall pick, he had, like, that kind of stuff. Like, hey, his tape does not show dominance, especially in the run game. He's not that good. I don't see 1-1. He's got a lot of improving to do, et cetera, et cetera. And people attacked him. But if he's right, and you're paying $7 million for him,
I think he's fine. I mean, look, I've watched him play. I think you're just more concerned about the pass protection with him. He is an elite pass blocker. He can protect the quarterback. And when you make the investment you've made into Levitt, if you're Mississippi State and you wanted somebody to protect Kamario Taylor, if you're Miami and you wanted somebody to protect, you knew Daria Mensah was going to end up in Miami eventually. I mean, that's a price to pay. And when you say, especially think about it from the Mississippi State perspective, you say he's not great against the run. Okay, watch State's run blocking last year. Not great would be an improvement. Like, not great would be okay. That's actually acceptable. Last year, State's run blocking was, if you're a fan of Thunder and Lightning, you know the word I'm about to use, putrid. So not great would be a huge improvement. That's what made him so valuable.
An error on the infield is going to go unpunished, though. Ole Miss will get out of
another error, though. Goodness gracious.
Yep. Although on the scoreboard they don't have an error listed. They scored the botched pop-up, a base hit in the first, and they didn't at least put an error there either. I love a little hometown score.
A little hometown scoreboard never hurt anybody.
I love it. It is what it is. You tell me, good or bad? Okay, good or bad? The UFL is getting started this year, and they have changed a bunch of rules.
Yeah.
Good or bad?
All right, go ahead.
All right, number one, a field goal that is 60 yards or longer is worth 4 points.
Good, and I think the NBA should do the same thing. Anything more than 25 feet should be a 4-pointer.
Okay.
I like that.
Part of me wonders if it's gimmicky.
It is a little gimmicky, but 60. The problem is this. In the NFL today, that's becoming a commonplace thing.
Yeah, you got to do 65.
You got to say 65, I think.
Charlie Smith, who
Brandon Murray will be like, bet.
Yeah, I've got you. They are changing. Now, this is a professional football league to 1 foot inbounds is a catch. Don't like that.
Don't like that one.
Because you're trying to get the whole point of the UFL, I think, is to become a legitimate sports like football league, and like your calling card would be, look at all these great players we sent to the NFL. If you're not playing the NFL rules as a pro sports league, what are you doing? But anyway, red zone penalties revert to half the distance to the goal. So any penalty in the red zone is half the distance to the goal. So false start on the 19. Half the distance instead of 5 yards. All right, no. Offsides on the 19, half the distance instead of 5 yards.
They don't like that. Offside should not be a 8.5 yard penalty.
They have completely banned the tush push. The NFL has not done it to
I don't
this
like
point.
that. That it's a play. It's a play. I don't like that. I wish the NFL was better about calling the obvious false starts that are happening there. But I can't get behind banning that play entirely.
Yeah, that's the problem with the tush push. It's not that they do it; it's that both guards jump before the ball snap.
They jump every time. Yeah, they got to figure out a way to do that.
No punting inside of your opponent's 50.
As a fan, I mean, and analytically, that is always the correct decision. There is never a time to. I mean, I guess if it's 4th and 25.
Yeah.
Maybe, but no offense on Miss fans. I'm not trying. 4th and 25 is just the first thing that came to mind.
It's just always in there. It's ingrained.
It's just always in the back of my mind. But I do like it. I won't lie to you and say I don't like the idea that you got to go for it. You've driven that far. You should try to score. Especially, by the way, 49 yards, 7. It's like a 60. You get a 4-point field goal if you can make one.
Yeah. Overtime. 3 alternating attempts per team from the 5-yard line. So think like shootout in soccer or hockey.
I don't mind that. That sounds fun. I want to see it in action, but on the surface, it sounds fun.
So whoever after 3 gets the most tries,
win. Exactly. So if you get 3 and they get 2, you've won.
Is that better or worse than the current college football after the 2 25-yard line things?
That's better.
I think that's better, too.
Yeah. The 2-point conversion thing drives me crazy.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially because they changed the rules because of a one-time game that will probably never happen again. The A&M LSU game.
Well, if it does, it'll be 15 years from now.
Yeah. Once every decade is okay. So you haven't talked about the one that I tweeted something about this earlier today. And maybe you were just about to come up to it, but if the ball is spotted, you did talk about the no punting rule. All right, there's no loophole. So the infamous 3rd and goal for Louisiana Tech against Mississippi State that was actually 3rd and 93, you still can't punt.
Okay, the punting in that situation. I mean, I guess since it's never really happened before. Yeah, you should be allowed to do.
You should be allowed to punt if you have 3rd and 93. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. But I mean, that's a rare thing. That was one of the weirdest plays in the history of college football. The way that it
it's
worked.
Still so funny.
It's still funny to watch. I watched it live, and I was just like, "What is happening?" But I would feel bad. It's like, you go 3rd and 93, you run a draw play. It's just trying to get field position, and you're going to punt it away. And now you can't do that. I don't know how I totally feel about.
We will come back to their point after attempt rules upcoming. Okay. Because remember, the new NFL kickoff started in I forget which one it was, the United Football Alliance or whatever. They had 2 spring leads. Yeah. But that did lead to a rule change in the NFL.
Yes.
So we will look at one more rule change when we come back and give you a baseball update as well in a chilly Oxford and a chilly Starkville. Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio. We'll be back.
From the Seabrook
to Sports Talk Mississippi.
Are you ready?
On the SuperTalk app, supertalk.fm, and always on your local SuperTalk Mississippi station.
Anything happening in Starkville since we went to break, Hadad?
Yes, Reed Stallman with a pinch hit 2 RBI double. We're now in the top of the 5th inning. Mississippi State leading Austin Peay 9-1. So State can tack on a couple more. They might get out of there a little early tonight.
How about that?
Yeah.
9-2 still in Oxford, just the top of the 4th. If
These
they
two games started at the same time. They have similar scores. And yet State is somehow a full inning ahead of Ole Miss.
I feel so bad, especially for friend of the program, Michael Katz, right now, who's covering this game.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got to write about it. And he's got to talk to Mike Bianco after the game and all the stuff that the local beat guys do.
Yeah.
And it's not even halfway over. If that score does not become 12-2 by the 7th inning,
yeah, it's a problem.
You will have a 4 o'clock start that will end by 10.
Should never feel bad for Michael Katz. He is a dirty, dirty Dodger fan.
Yeah, I know.
So he gets no sympathy from me.
Yeah, that is true. That's a really just a bad thing.
Simple as that. Simple as that.
All right, the UFL, the last thing. Point after touchdown options. They have 3 of them.
Yes.
In the UFL this year. 1 point kick from the 33-yard line. That's the NFL extra point.
Mm-hmm.
2, you can go for 2 with the ball spotted at the 2.
Yes.
And also you can go for 3 with the ball spotted at the 8-yard line.
That's not a new rule. They did that last year, did they not? I think they've had the 3-point conversion.
In this release, they're saying that it's new.
That must have been one of the maybe the XFL or the whatever league was before this. I remember that being a thing.
You could go for 3.
You could go for 3.
Shout out Woody Hayes.
Shout out to Woody Hayes. I was about to say it. I couldn't go for 3. Woody Hayes would love to coach in the UFL. I don't mind that. I think it's. I mean, if you can score from the 8, 3 points, sure.
I'm in for that.
Go all the way with it. If you can score from the 30, it's another touchdown.
If you had to add a rule, what do you add?
I would clean. Then we talked about it. I think we mentioned it the other day. They're talking about cleaning up targeting a little bit. That's it for me.
Yes,
a yellow card, red card system for targeting.
We have not talked about that. So yes, they are considering in college football. This is desperately needed. By the way, I understand that targeting's been a net positive. Before you think we're crazy, targeting penalties, the amount of targeting penalties that are thrown are actually going down. You're getting fewer and fewer of those hits. There are fewer head injuries as a result. They have it backed by data. The concept of targeting is working as intended.
Correct.
However, they are ejecting players for non-intentional football plays, and they are apparently exploring the possibility of, as Hadad said, yellow card, red card. You have a hit that is targeting, but it's clearly not intentional. It's just football thing. You stay in the game.
Right.
That needs to happen so bad. So bad. And the carryover suspension after the ejection.
Right.
They're considering getting rid of that as well. So it doesn't matter at what point of the game your targeting penalty happens, you get to play in the next game.
Right. And then there are ones that if you have a dirty hit, clearly dirty.
Yeah, and
you're out and you're out for the next game as well. That makes sense. Also, and then somebody mentions it here on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. The high pants that made such a splash last year are going to be illegal. That's a safety issue. It really is. You're supposed to be wearing knee pads.
Oh, and the pads that they'll wear are next to nothing.
They're like they're like the 1-ply toilet paper of pads.
I couldn't be a running back with nothing covering my knees.
No, so I mean the guy last year was the Oklahoma punter.
Yes,
who was basically wearing Daisy Dukes like that. There's got to be some uniform requirements. Uniform requirements are exactly that. Requirements. So
yeah, that guy was dressed inappropriately, like to go to the beach. It's like if he was wearing it at the beach, like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Come on, man.
Loosen it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, not one person.
So that's going to become an issue as well. I like that. I'm a fan of that idea.
I have been to a beach on vacation a long time ago.
Oh, no.
Long time ago. Where a gentleman thought it was the kind of beach that it was.
Oh, no.
No! Somebody called security on him. And
I bet.
He was, you could tell, it was a very uncrowded beach, and he was off on his own, and he just kind of, he did his thing, and was hanging out with a wife, girlfriend, whoever. A lady was with him.
Uh-huh.
And he just, he did his thing.
Let it all hang out.
And security came, and he was like melting down in apology, but he thought that it was...
He thought it was a freer beach.
He thought it was... Yeah. And we never saw him again at the resort. I don't know if he got kicked out or like that was his last day, and he just decided to see what it was like. But
yeah. No. I went to Vegas and went to the Wynn, and they have a pool where you don't have to wear a shirt. Let's put it that way. And
okay.
You can, there's just...
In Vegas? You're
Vegas.
At the pool?
Yeah, at the Wynn Resort.
Huh.
They got the, it's called, I'm not making this up, it's called the European pool. It's very European.
Have you seen the stadium pool yet? Were you there before that was built?
I don't know what that is.
So they have, I don't know what casino it is, but they have where it's a pool, and it's multiple pools, and they have like swim up bars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they have a gigantic, like Jumbotron style screen that is right next to the pool. Think like Auburn scoreboard.
I don't want that.
At the pool, and they play it's games all day. It's just sports
I guess,
all day.
I don't know. I kind of want to relax when I'm at the pool.
Sports aren't relaxing to you.
They're not conducive to relaxation.
I need to get a Whoop band. That's what I need, because I would have loved to have known what my heart rate was during periods of time.
Oh, what?
Isn't it it's the wristband that does the heart tracking and stuff? WOOP?
I thought you were talking about like an actual band. Like you need to get a Whoop band. Like,
no.
Whoop, there are you a Woot there it is or a Whoop there it is guy? I don't know.
Whoop.
It's Whoop there it is, because correct. We are a tag team show, not a 95 South show.
WHOOP. It's like a health and fitness band. Hey, it tracks your heart rate and all that stuff. And,
yeah. You were talking about during the hockey game?
Yeah, I would love to know what that was like.
Pretty, yeah.
The PGA Tour does it. It's actually really cool. I wish they could do this.
It's good technology. Yeah, it's great for when you exercise too. You can tell how many calories you're actually burning.
Yeah. But Hadad on tour, they will connect to some of the players, and you will know their heart rate in real time. Like while they're like lining up a putt, it shows you what their heart rate is and like what it spikes to and stuff during the round. It's really cool. I would love to know.
Prime Tiger would be just like flat as as the Mississippi Delta, just never spiked,
just nothing.
Yeah, never heard of that. A Whoop band.
WHOOP. Whoop band.
Whoop band.
Now that you're on a health kick, you might want to get something like that.
You know what? No, I'm good.
Yeah, that's a bridge too far.
I'm not that interested.
Like there's getting healthy, then there's getting
maniacal about it. I'm just, I'm just going to go for a walk. I'll just go for a walk. It'll be okay.
Somebody says mine never got below 115 according to the Garmin watch during the second half of the Fiesta Bowl. Oh my gosh, man.
Mine was probably higher. Just looking at the screen, like I'm going to have to get in a plane with a bunch of Ole Miss fans. Flying down to Miami.
We'd have had fun in Miami.
We would not have had fun.
We would have had fun in Miami.
You and Richard would have had a fantastic time. I would not.
Richard and I would not have hung out in Miami.
I disagr't. Y'all would have hung out.
No, we wouldn't have.
Because you would have been like, I need to go to these fantastic restaurants that he would have gotten us into. That he would have gotten y'all into. I would have been ordering pizza in my room.
We would have had fun in Miami.
We would not. I can't stress enough. I cannot stress enough that there would have been no fun for Brian Hadad in Miami.
You would have been like the hockey team in Miami last night. Did you see what they did? So I
did not see that, but I don't know how I would have been like them.
They went to a nightclub in Miami.
I've been like the Canadian hockey team, not wanting to be there.
There's videos of them singing, God bless the USA and all that. But at one point, they sang the national anthem. And Hadad, they went to a club in Miami, and bottle service girls at clubs in Miami dress a certain way. And they're
scantily clad.
They're singing the national anthem, and all of the bottle service girls are standing there at full attention, hand on their heart, singing the national anthem with the
I'm sure they were at full attention
in Miami last night. It's one of the funniest things. They pan the room, and it's just a bunch of hockey players. And then they cut to the bottle service girls. And they are all at attention, singing the national anthem, hand over heart and everything.
Hey, good for them.
There is. I cannot imagine having more fun than the kind of fun that they had on the cross-country flight. Or not cross-country flight. Cross-continental flight from Italy back to Miami, getting off the plane, having an entire Miami nightclub party with you after you won a gold medal. I could not imagine how much fun that they had last night. I'm so incredibly jealous of that level of pure sports joy that those guys got to have last night. And then they have to pretend to sober up because they're walking around D.C. today.
Yeah. Well, some of them got to get back to work. They got hockey games to play. So,
Sports Talk Mississippi will wrap the show up with you next.
After I get to the bottom of this,
From the SuperTalk Mississippi.
Introducing to you
Sports Talk Mississippi.
I was doing a little arranging of my closet earlier today, moving the winter stuff to the back and the spring and summer stuff to the front. And
it's 40 degrees outside.
I know, but I just, I decided to do it. I looked at the weather. We got 70s coming up, and it's golf weather. And I've got my new favorite golf shirt. It's from Gentile. It's a white base, but it's got like different shades of green, little trouts on it. And then
I have that. Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good shirt, and I can't wait to wear it on the golf course. And you can too.
First day to wear my new Gentile hoodie.
How comfortable are you right now?
It's very comfortable.
GentileApparel.com. That's the website. GentileApparel.com. It's a Mississippi company. You want to dress like us and look good on the golf course, at work, at church, on date night, anywhere in between. They've got all kinds of options for the summer. I wear Gentile hats basically every podcast that I record now. Their hats are, just perfect. Outstanding material that lasts. GentileApparel.com. And don't forget to click on their collegiate collection. You want to look good at the baseball field this year, don't you? Well, do it through Gentile. I would say you want to look good in the basketball arena, but no.
You don't. No. Nobody wants to be there.
They don't sell paper bags.
That's a shame. That said, I want to say real quick, so it should be some exciting news coming in the next month or so for Mississippi State fans from Gentile. We'll talk more about that when we get there, though.
Ooh, what could that be?
I know what it is.
Why don't I know what it is?
Because I had a conversation with those guys when we were in Oxford, and I passed along a concern that some Mississippi State fans had about Gentile apparel, and they said, we are in the process of fixing that, and we'll let you. It should be in March. So hopefully find out more about that soon.
And also, because I had a conversation with them, they mentioned that there's going to be apparel for women via Gentile.
There you go, yeah, that's true.
As well.
There you go.
So really good stuff. All right, final update in Starkville. What do you got?
What is it now? Bottom of the fifth. They're making a pitching change there with 2 outs. 9-1, man on second for Mississippi State. So if they could get, it is Ace Reese at the plate. So a long fly here would put that game in danger for a run rule victory. But stayed up 9-1, comfortably ahead.
Same thing for Ole Miss, just add one more for the opponent. 9-2, top 5, although SEMO has a runner on first with just 1 out. Shocker, earlier, it wrapped up just earlier is what I was trying to say. Arkansas State goes into Fayetteville and beats Arkansas 12-4.
That's a very surprising result.
I love it.
The Hogs go down. That's their second loss of the season. Also of note, Arizona State, who Mississippi State will play on Friday, 14-3, they lead Oklahoma, top of the fifth. Elsewhere around the conference, 8-1 in top of the ninth. Tennessee leading Bellarmine. A run rule victory for Missouri over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 15-1. Evansville trailing Vanderbilt 10-2. And in the top of the second in Gainesville, 2-0 Florida International over the Gators. Scoreless top of the first in College Station between Texas A&M and Lamar. And Southern Mississippi, Alabama, first pitch just a few minutes away down there in Hattiesburg at Pete Taylor Park.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Look at FIU. We could have some upsets here. And
Oklahoma, that's an upset there. Even though Arizona State was undefeated, Oklahoma's a top 25 team. And, Florida International, we'll just have to see what happens there. It's still very early. And then, of course, Southern Mississippi, Alabama, that's going to be a chance for Southern to have a really good win. That's a really good win if they can get it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that they've lacked is they beat Mississippi State last year. They need to get a year where they get some multiple SEC wins. They beat Ole Miss last year as well, didn't they? At least one game.
I believe that's right.
That's part of the reason. That's why this is such a good team. So,
I don't know if I should admit this or not. During the last commercial break, I went to ESPN to make sure that neither Ole Miss or State were playing basketball tonight.
No, the State's tomorrow against Alabama, which, great. Every time State's a little down, here comes Alabama to make it worse. Ole Miss is...
They're tomorrow as well. They're not tonight. It's LSU in Oxford.
That's a winnable game. That's a game Ole Miss should win. If Ole Miss loses that game, I don't know. Because LSU is awful.
Ole Miss is only a 1.5 favorite.
So basically a pick 'em.
There will be, over under 1,000 people in the pavilion.
Yeah, there won't be a lot.
They haven't earned it.
No.
I'm not a fan shamer. The team has not earned it.
Well, especially since, you're paying their salary.
Yeah. If you don't want to go watch them be 3-11 in conference play.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm good.
I'm not going to hate on you for that.
Especially when the opponent
if it was the other way around, if that team was 11-3 and not getting any fan support, I would absolutely hate on fans for not going. You should be there supporting this team. They're good. 3-11, you got better things to do on a Wednesday night. Listen to Thunder and Lightning live.
You confused me for a second. I thought, wait a minute, what? Did I miss it? No, I didn't miss
tomorrow.
It. This tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. You're still good.
Speaking of tomorrow, we will see you tomorrow at 3. Y'all have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your baseball, and we'll talk to you then.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.